What's up, YouTube? It's me, the Artisan MC, and today I'm going to give you my reaction and review to House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 7, The Dragon in Winter. This episode had a lot of WTF moments, and actually upset me a lot more than entertained me. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm going to go out of order for this reaction review because I'm irritated. I'm very irritated. And I might as well just get that out the way first so maybe I can get to some of the substantive points that actually worked in this episode. I don't like Mysaria. I do not like her. I don't like the character. I don't like how much she talks. I don't like the stuff that comes out of her mouth, which is just dumb. Now, I don't know who on the freaking staff of this show is in love with Mysaria, but please tell me this is not actually in the book like this. I'm waiting for this character to get burned, eaten, fall down the stairs. Something needs to happen to this character. I'm sick of this damn character. I'm sick of her. The height of this is having Mysaria falling down on Rhaenyra. This is what ruined the season finale of last season. What are you doing? Look. The character in the show says exactly what everybody else knows. That a whore in the palace is always a whore. And that's exactly the point with Mysaria. There is no reason at all that anyone should be taking anything she has to say seriously, especially not the queen. Why? Because she used to sleep with her husband. And if you're so smart, Rhaenyra, to understand what she's doing, she's just trying to turn you against your husband. Why the heck would you still end up laying down with her? Submitting to her. That makes no sense. I didn't even see who wrote this episode. And at this point, it doesn't matter. It was dumb. Dumb. This is the one person you shouldn't listen to. Especially when she's talking about Viserys, Rhaenyra's father, knowing damn well she didn't even know the man. It's stupid. I want the character out of there. I really do. And thankfully, in some senses, the last episode is coming up soon, so I won't have to see this character for a while. Now, not only does this character get the good bump where she gets to lay down with the queen and consummate their relationship. Relationship what? You also see her bringing in one of the whores that used to work for her. I guess a bottom chick. And bringing them in to the Iron Throne room so they can have this conversation. So she tries to position herself as somebody who can take the small folks' words up to the queen. She has the queen's ear. I'm like, what? That scene was stupid. I'm like, why is anybody letting her walk somebody in here? You're plotting against the queen. Not only with this whore, but you were doing it with Alicent. And why is the queen listening to you again? This has to be off book. This has to be. For the love of the Seven Kingdoms, this has to be off book stuff. It has to be. There is no way this person could have failed this far upwards and with a competent writer. There's no way. Especially not to get to the same point we got to last season. Oh, we need to have them kissing. Why? Nobody likes Massaria. Fucking hell, dude. I am so sick. Sick of them. Now, the episode does open with what is obviously a dream sequence where you're getting to see inside of Helena's dreams. It's all well and good till she wakes up and realizes that her sister Rhaenyra is sitting above her. Now, at this point in this series, I'm really deciding that I'm sick of them overly fixated on all these dang females. And I'm not a Missandras. I'm just saying. What's the rest of the show about? Because I'm following around 5 to 6 women doing dumb stuff. I got Rhaenyra sitting in here talking to her sister, the child of her best friend and her father, and she's aware that the girl now has dragon dreams, so she's going to grab her and try to make her tell her that what she's doing is right. She's not a freaking fortune teller. That's not how it works. It's called dragon dreaming. It's not called dragon prediction. Like, it's a dumb scene. And it makes Rhaenyra look weak and desperate. I need to know that my cause is righteous. I'm on the right path. You're sitting on the Iron Throne. You might be going in the right direction if you stop listening to dumb people like Massaria. Freaks out Helena. Helena don't really want to say much to her. She's off and gone. The next thing we get is catching up with old Aemon at the weird place of Harrenhal. You know, the one place you never want to spend a night. You don't want to spend a night. Don't touch the tree bark. Breeze through there. You don't want to stay at Harrenhal. There is nothing good happening in Harrenhal. It is too much mind screwery going around in Harrenhal for you to hang out. It's just not. And the next scene I get, which is completely objectionable to me, is Aemon is sitting there, you know, working his sword, doing his sword skills, trying to work his stitch. And all of a sudden, his mother shows up, Alicent. Now, we know Alicent is coming here, so it's fine. But the way she just materialized in the room gives you the impression that this has to be some kind of a dream or something. Right? No announcement. She's just there. They talk. She forgives. She touches on his son, rubs on his face and stuff like that. The role was fraught, and I came all this way to get you. And yeah. And it's really giving off a wrong vibe. Like, is this woman really trying to seduce her son? Is that how she's going to play it? Oh, this is foul. She's not even a Targaryen. What the hell is going on here? Well, the scene plays out where they actually end up full on in bed. Bumping uglies. I'm like, what the heck is this? Bruh, I was put off when he kissed his mama. I didn't think that was the character at all. Now, they got him pumping his mama. I'm like, fantasy is this? Now, gratefully for me, it's a dream. It's Alice. Alice is on him. But he's dreaming and seeing his mama, which is still screwed up. Still. Now, when he pushes Alice off of him, gets his clothes on and gets out to bed and is off through the barefoot halls of Heron, his mother does actually show up. And at this point, I'm sure he got to be thinking like, oh, hell no, you got to go. Well, it turns out it's really his mother. And the scene that follows is like he really didn't believe it for a while until he actually grabbed her. It's like, okay, he's not seeing things. It's really his mom. And now she is there giving him the spiel that she cooked up about why she's there, what her situation was, how she escaped, and what she needs to do with him. She introduces him to her protector or whatever. He takes one look at this dude, shakes his hand, and does exactly what I thought he should have did. Kill this dude. He kills him. I'm like, yeah, this is a killer. This is not her protector. This is a killer. And he kills that dude. Right there in front of the weirwood. And I'm like, good. Short role in Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, but, you know, there are no small parts. There are only small minds. Now, Allison now is just left to her devices to figure out how she is going to kill her son while she's there and now introduced to Alice. That it is not just one person here. There's two. And who is Alice? Well, sitting around the table looks like an uncomfortable, you know, meeting of the college child's new significant other, where it's just an uncomfortable conversation about what they're doing and what they have planned here. And how is she going to make best of her plan to kill her son with this other person here that doesn't trust her at all. Now, she hears about Eamon's plan, and Eamon's idea is like he's not leaving anywhere. He's staying there with Alice, and his mother's going to stay at Heron Hall with him. So Allison has to scramble to think of another plan, right? Or another means to execute the same plan. Now, Alice does tell Eamon that, look, something ain't right. I ain't got a good feeling about this woman and she don't need to stay here. My plans involve me and you, not her. Flat out. Eamon doesn't really want to hear that. That's my blood. Yada, yada, yada. Like, okay, good, whatever. Well, by the next time you see good old Alicent, she's out in front of the weirwood searching her dead escort's body, finds the knife, but then hits upon something else. By her next scene, she rolling on in to see her son, as she was in the beginning of the show, in his dream, while he's practicing with his sword. Mom rolls in there and offers him a drink. Forgives him for the attempted murder of his brother, Aegon, and gives him a drink. Well, in the preceding scene, you see Eamon falling the hell out and Alicent trying to make haste and leave in Heron Hall. And like the rest of us and Alice is saying what the rest of us are thinking, like, you idiot. What? Now, that was one thing. One thing I was kind of happy I was right about was the fact that at the end of last episode, you saw Corlys Velaryon, troops and stuff like that, being accosted and killed. And Corlys captured or dead. I thought he was captured. And sure enough, when this episode opens up, you see smug-ass Ormond sitting down, having a conversation, having a meal. And sure enough, he's talking to Corliss. Lord Corliss has been captured by Ormond Hightower, and he is in Tumbleton. Now, Ormond's smugness on tilt talks to Corliss and that he does value him and he's going to keep him there and all this other BS, and does say something about Rhaenys, which he probably shouldn't have said at all, but he does it with such nonchalant smugness that Corliss stands up like he want to, take that bro out and not to a drink. Well, Corliss decides he's going to go back to his cell, and Lord Ormond actually stops him and says, before you go, there's one more thing. Now, I knew what the heck this was going to be as soon as I saw him raise a knife. I'm like, please tell me you just cut off a lock and not one of his fingers. Sure enough, later on in the show, a box arrives to King's Landing for Alan of Hull. And Alan opens the box, and sure enough, it is the sea snake's finger with his ring on it. And I'm like, the denigration of these black dudes just goes above and beyond. Above and beyond. It just keeps getting worse and worse for these brothers. So now Corliss is running around minus a hand. Or, excuse me, minus a finger. That was a bit unnecessary. But be it as it may, back on the, let's just say on the black front of the House of the Dragons. Adam has a moment with Baela and talking to her that maybe she can put a word in to Rhaenyra about he and his brother seeking legitimacy. And Baela is like, oh, no, well, you couldn't do that because, I'm not really feeling in good standing right now with her anyway. She's not listening to me. And Adam tells her, like, hey, well, if we got, married to a nice, upright woman, then that would be okay. And she's smiling and stuff, and he's smiling at her. She said, oh, so your brother told you. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? That is like the worst way to find out that this girl you interested in is not interested in you. She's interested in your brother. Why would my brother tell me that? That's, to me, is just setting up a riff. It's just setting up a riff. It'd be like the 5 heartbeats, man, and it's always a chick in between you. That was dumb. But on top of it being dumb, it's broken up by the fact that they see Sheep Stealer flying around unfeathered. Well, now they're on the tail of Sheep Stealer. They don't catch it, but they go back to King's Landing and let the Queen know that Sheep Stealer is about, and Sheep Stealer has a rider. This is where the stupidity of Daemon's plan comes into play. With killing some random person, some goat herder, or whatever the hell he was. Burning them up and just bringing a head back so Rhaenyra could get off this hunt for Sheep Stealer, stop focusing on that and focus on what's actually important at the moment, because Jace is long dead. He ain't coming back. So it's over. By Baela and Adam telling her that, well, now Rhaenyra is not trusting Daemon. And sure enough, Mysaria is there to let her know that wasn't really the body. Daemon must have lied to you. All this bitter side girlfriend shit. All this stuff that would happen to you in a regular situation if your chick had a friend that didn't like you. And as soon as you did something that looked like it could be bad, She in her ear telling her all this negative about you. Like, I just want the character to go away. I really do. I want the character to go away. Somebody gotta kill her. Something gotta get her immediately. Now, Raina and Adam head out to go find Sheep Stealer because Damon is not at the castle. Damon left earlier in the day because Damon was out looking for Sheep Stealer. He goes back to the Eyrie, talks to her, Queen of the Eyrie, and asks her for some help. He even says please, which I don't like because he puts her in debt to this chick. She gives him some directions. He jumps on Caraxes, flies off, finds Sheep Stealer, and sits down and tries to talk to Raina. Now, the conversation with Raina is kind of broken up because now she's had a change of heart. She doesn't want to be away from everything. She wants to try to find Vhagar, and by killing Vhagar, she will, gain some favor from Rhaenyra and, possibly be forgiven. And if not, she dies and all this other dumb shit. Like, you had a plan and you chose this life. Why don't you stick to that? Damon is trying to protect her and protest because at the end of the day, it's still his daughter. It's still his daughter. He's telling her you're going to get found out and it's going to be a problem. Just listen to me. We can try to fix this, but it's too late because Adam and Rhaenyra show up. And although Rhaenyra's no running ass tries to get into the bushes, she cannot outrun Adam, even though he landed way after she took off running. So he brings her back, and sure enough, Rhaenyra finds out that it's Raina. Sheep Stealer is there. There's 3 other dragons there. And Rhaenyra finds out that it was Raina. Now, she doesn't ask any questions. She doesn't ask how it happened. What happened? She just holds her responsible for Jace's death. She was riding Sheep Stealer. Sheep Stealer is responsible for Jace's death, which is bullshit in a sense. Yes, Sheep Stealer was chasing Jace, but Sheep Stealer didn't kill Jace. You know what killed Jace? Arrows from the Triarchy fleet. That's what got him. So the people who actually killed your son are already gone. Sheep Stealer is not responsible for that. It went after him and led to a situation where he did get killed, but they did not kill him. Jace was flopping around in the water until them arrows hit his ass. Then he stopped flopping. He was still in the water. But Raina don't know. Rhaenyra doesn't know any of that. She just take Raina, and that's it. And the dragons, tired of being, kind of held at bay with Sheep Stealers underbite ass bucking up, then the rest of them dragons get in on them. And I'm thinking right at this moment that, okay, Rhaenyra's dragon is dead. Nope. No dragons die. It's a good dragon fight. Monsters without Godzilla and Kong. It's a good dragon fight, but no. Rhaenyra and Raina board her dragon and get out of there. Adam gets on his sea smoke and he's out. And Damon is left there with Caraxes to take on Sheep Stealer. Said he's going to finish it. Sends Adam on. Damon doesn't finish anything. Again. Caraxes bites Sheep Stealer on his wing, damaging his wing so he can't fly away, and lets Sheep Stealer limp off into the woods. Now, because Sheep Stealer didn't die, I would think this would not be the end of him, but I would think since Vhagar's flying around and Vhagar don't got a problem taking out other dragons, he might want to watch himself. You might want to watch yourself because that big chick don't care. Gotta eat. Now, back at King's Landing, Rhaena is thrown into a room, and Rhaenyra doesn't even want to look at her. She don't know the story. This could all really be solved if somebody just told her the story. What happened? Accidental. Series of unfortunate events. Not directly responsible. First ride on a wild dragon. Things are going to go wrong. Tried to help. It didn't help. Now, the rest of this episode has some more WTF moments, but one of the better ones, since they crammed all this stuff together in one episode, which it could have been peppered in to earlier episodes that were slow and boring. These events could have happened then instead of being all jammed into one episode at the end, is what makes this episode hard to review because there's so much stuff going on all at the same time. Like, you could have spaced this out. Then you wouldn't have had Aegon, Larys, and Tywin riding around in a damn circle. They rode one way, the army is coming. We must flee. And then they ride back the other way, an army is coming. What are we going to do? Stand and fight or run? Well, they're only looking for Tywin. So Larys Clubfoot is the fuck out of there. Aegon don't want to leave. He wants to stand and fight and not die in a ditch as a nobody, but die as a king. Okay, whatever. Tywin stays to show his loyalty and his fealty to his king, so he stays too. So Larys is out of there. Yeah, because he is no good on the battlefield. Okay. The army actually finds them since they've made it all the way back to Rook's Rest. And in a moment of what could be said as some courage, when they're beset by this army of people and asked who they are, Aegon actually doesn't turn to run. He stands tall in front of Tywin and announces who he is, that he is King Aegon. Yada, yada, yada. And when he does that, there's a shriek, there's a shrill, and there's thumping heard. And sure enough, at this time, in the middle of the night, with these large force of soldiers out in front of them, Aegon is making his speech about who he is and what he's about, and people are running, and he's like, yeah, yeah. Till he turns around and realizes that Sunfire is alive and it's come to aid him. Disfigured as it may be, just like Aegon, he heeds his master's call. And when he yells Dracarys, he burns all of them motherfuckers. Cool. Sunfire's alive. We kind of knew that. Kind of. And now Aegon has his dragon again. Cool. Even better. Balance of power shifted. Another dragon for the green side. In addition to this last little piece of work that happens, where you see why Ormond is acting so smug. Well, by the end of the episode, you get to see why Ormond is acting so smug. He's sitting down and having a little drink, a little nightcap with Ulf on the hill over Tumbleton. They're just sitting up there having a little chat. And it turns out Ulf was actually feeding Ormond some information. But through his little network of spies, he heard about how Ulf got, bitch slapped by Daemon, in the keep, in front of the common people, and how that was a great injustice. And he kind of offers Ulf what he wants, a lordship. And although Ulf has his idea of what he wants, Ormond offers him Driftmark. The burnt place that Corlys owns. But it's nothing there anymore because it got burnt the hell up and sacked. Ulf doesn't know that, apparently, which makes him twice the idiot. Because of his slight by Daemon, he agrees that the Lord of Driftmark sounds good to him. And this is what Ormond was so smug about, that he has a dragon rider, another dragon rider on his side, which means the Greens just gained another dragon. And that's how the episode ends. Now, all of that crap in one episode could have been peppered through this whole season. All of these different things could have happened in different spots. You could have had Aegon get Sunfire back a couple episodes ago when him and Larys are just kicking around Rook's Rest. You didn't have to wait 2 more episodes to get to the last one, the penultimate, and then, oh, look, he's alive. Like, come on, man. What a waste. What a waste of time. You mean I sat through those other boring episodes for that? This is so silly. This episode had a lot of stuff going on in it, but it only makes me upset at the things that didn't need to happen, and actually upset that some of these events could have happened earlier and they didn't do it. They waited till this next to the last episode to do it. This is bullcrap, which means to me the last episode is probably going to be just as unsatisfying as the season finale of the last season. That's what it makes me believe. That's the feeling I have. It's disappointing to actually try to pull for a show that keeps wanting to let you down because they keep listening to the wrong goddamn people. I'm sick of all these silly stories. Where is the A material? Where does the characters actually act competent? Where do the male characters actually act competent? And not just weak men waiting to have their fingers cut off or lay down with their mama. I don't know. But thankfully, the next episode is the last one for this season. And then I won't have to see Mysaria much longer. So that's it. That has been my reaction to House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 7, Dragon in Winter. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. If you want to see the full watch along of this and see me losing my stuff about what I'm seeing on the screen, definitely check out the Patreon, Shop Talk with Artisan MC. And until then, I will see you next time. Peace.